This is Borneo, a place where the jungle overhangs the rivers. It is also home to one of the most biodiverse ecosystems in the world. And people come from miles around just to see things like monkeys, many different varieties of bird species. And if you're really lucky, you can even see things like orangutans. So as we were saying, people come here because you just don't get this kind of experience in a zoo, do you?
You don't.
And these guys really don't belong in a zoo. Oh. Look at our gibbon. It's a gibbon. My name's Lynn Sutherland. I'm an adventurer and an environmentalist. I travel the world in my quest to understand the impacts we're having on our planet. My journey takes me deep into the habitat of endangered animals, where people are working hard to preserve the biodiversity of our planet. We need to understand how our ecosystems work and join the race against time to preserve the valuable life on our planet. The rainforests found near the equator of our planet are the epicentres of life. They are the centre of evolution and home to many endemic species of plants and animals. They are crucial for the stability of our climates and to maintain biodiversity. One island in particular, for me, conjures up images of the ancient jungle journeys, where you could imagine Tarzan being right at home, swinging on the many vines alongside the primates of the forest. It is the island of Borneo, home to the oldest rainforests in the world, dating back 130 million years. I touched down in Kota Kinabalu in Sabah, Malaysia, the start of my Borneo adventure. We're going on the expedition ship Orion because it gets you into those wild, remote places that I really love getting to. And there's some familiar faces. Hello, Ian.
Lovely to see you back with us.
Oh, good to see you guys.
How long's it been?
Papua New Guinea.
Was that last year?
Yeah, last year. So. On this voyage, I would explore the west coast, passing through the three nations that make up Borneo: Malaysia, Brunei, and Indonesia. Borneo is the third largest island in the world and home to nearly 18 million people. It also holds a fascinating tribal past. Borneo's Indigenous people belong to scores of different tribal groups that speak about 140 languages and dialects. For thousands of years, they have lived in harmony with the rainforest, in remote communities, and some even practising the art of headhunting. But all of them efficient hunters. So this is sumpatan. It's a blowpipe. It's actually how they hunt traditionally. They usually use poisonous darts. It could be venom from a snake or sap from a tree. And then they line up their target. They put in, what's this called, a little arrow? Poisonous arrow?
That is, yeah, poisonous arrow.
Poisonous arrow. And they line up their target and they blow. And they miss. But not the good guys. They're really good at this. So why don't you show us how it's done, Adam? Okay. Okay? And then you can teach the little fella.
Wow!
Yeah! Got him right in the blood. It's a trampoline, right?
Yeah.
This will be good.
After a blowpipe lesson, we entered Adam's tribal hut.
Is it in here?
Yeah.
The Murut, the tribe he's descended from, were known to be skilled headhunters. Lucky for me, that's a thing of the past. Or is it? These trampolines are not soft and bouncy. Going up is relatively easy, But landing softly, that's the challenge. Understanding a diversity of cultures allows us to see the importance of tribal life and living within the environment. But as the jungles are taken down, many cultures are threatened, and Borneo is losing ancient traditions and heritage. Needing a little salt water in the veins, I headed to Gaia, a small island just offshore from Kota Kinabalu, where a team of dedicated people are using their facilities to help replenish and restore marine life.
These are the primo.
These are our highest standard rooms. A lot of people, they come here because of biodiversity. And Sabah, which is the state that we're in, is renowned for its biodiversity. People have done studies, and they say that in central Sabah, near Danum Valley and Maluku Basin, which is the epicenter for biodiversity, you'll find more nature than all of Europe and North America put together. As a matter of fact, it's second to only the Amazon, which of course is a much larger area. And if that is 100%, we have 60% of that same biodiversity on this little island of 1,600 hectares, which makes it very, very unique. And, you know, once you're tired of what's on the land, you have what's in the sea. And we often forget, you know, that the world is 70% ocean and 30% land mass. So here at Guyana Eco Resort, we really try to celebrate what's under the sea, and we do that by giving back. We propagate giant clams, we restore the coral reef. The fish that you consume here is all from our own organic fish farm. And pretty soon I'll take you through to the Marine Center, which is actually the beating heart of our whole organization.
Hi.
This is Alvin. He's the
Hello, nice to
director
meet
for
you.
the Marine Center.
You're the marine man, Alvin.
Yes, welcome to work. Come, please. And this area used to be rich in marine diversity as well, but because of over-exploitation and fishing activities going on, this place has been a little bit over-harvested. And when we came in, there was not much life in the sea, so we realized that a lot of people has been taking from the sea. So we said this could be an ideal place to start the Marine Center, and then we'll propagate life of marine endangered species to release it back into the sea and start to revive the environment here again. There are a lot of threats to our marine resource on the whole, in general. Overfishing is one, fishing with unsustainable methods also is a major problem for us. Sometimes fishermen can be a little bit impatient. They want something easier and something more efficient, and that leads to a lot of problems because that's not sustainable.
So what methods are we talking about?
Well, there are gears that are very effective, like explosive, sodium cyanide. You know.
What's the main thing that you're working on here? What's the main species?
We chose giant clams because this is the largest of the mollusks, and they are all endangered as well. They're all listed as vulnerable, and they're endangered. Yeah.
And they can't really run away, giant clams.
No, they do not have much defense system. They are just sitting at the bottom of the sea. They can't camouflage well. They don't bite back. They don't run away. So it's pretty much just waiting for someone to come along, and if they want to harvest them, it's quite easy.
Now, you were saying there's a lot of biodiversity here. How many of the clam species have you got here in Sabah?
There are 8 species in the world, and we have 7 species in Malaysian waters, including in Sabah. But 2 of these are now getting very rare in Malaysian waters, or what we are calling it, terming it as locally extinct. So it's extremely difficult to find these 2 species now.
So this is your babies that you've got growing?
Yes, they are all about 3 years old now.
So is this the big one, the really giant one?
Yes, this is the second largest species of all, Triads the Rasa. And they're quite beautiful with all the
That's not me.
colours.
Okay, so these are 3 years old.
3 years old, yes.
So now you think that they're on their own?
This is the size that we can put into the ocean nursery. We still need to put them in a cage for probably about another year or two before they are bigger, and then we can put them on the reef on its own. Because even at this size, they are still quite sensitive. We are worried about predators coming in. We are worried about algae overgrowing on them. So we still need to clean them every now and then.
So this algae growing
Yes.
is their worst.
So we need to take a brush and have to brush them off, clean them every now and then so that...
They're pampered babies, aren't they? God, I wish
Try it.
someone looked after me this well. Oh, look, he's opening up.
Yeah.
Look at this. That's super cool.
Slowly open,
Now, will he be wanting water now, or are they're fine for
They're
water?
fine for a short while.
Yeah.
Not the close back.
I'll put him back. Here you go, buddy.
We collect coral fragments that we can find on the seabeds that has been broken by waves or by human activities, and we bring them back and we sort of like set them onto a vertical position again. And then from there, we will, after stabilizing in our tank for 2 weeks, we'll move them back into the sea, and we will grow them for about a year or two before they are really branching, and then we'll move them up into the reef and fix them on the reef. And again, you're on your own, after 2 years.
So you've been planting coral? Only one. Is this so you can grow coral for the future? Good boy.
Thank you so much for helping us plant the coral. So this is your coral number C848.
After our adventure in Kota Kinabalu, it was time to head south down the west coast of Malaysian Borneo. I toasted the sunset, looking forward to exploring this wild and distant land. Our first safari into the wilds would be at the Cleus Wetland in search of a very unique primate. We travelled by dinghy to the village of Menembuk. In Menembuk, we boarded a bus on a 45-minute journey through the landscape. As I stared out the window, my image of wild remote Borneo started to diminish. The jungles which once entirely covered this country have shrunk over 50% due to the timber and agricultural industries.
I'm at the Cleus Wetlands, which is primarily a mangrove ecosystem. Now, we've come here because it's a good place that you can possibly see the proboscis monkey, and you might even see a few crocodiles, monitor lizards, and some wonderful bird life like the kingfishers. Anyway, they're getting ready, they're getting on the boat, so let's see what we can find. Monkeys, here we come. We're going in a little bit closer because there's a monitor lizard up in the tree. He's just crashed down. His little arms are over the branch. You should see him. He must have had a hard day. A lot of these places are being cleared pretty much up to the water's edge, but along these river systems, it's really nice because they've still got the natural vegetation, and this is where you can see some of the animals. We're looking for the proboscis monkey, big-nosed one. Oh yeah, proboscis. Bowie, it's a proboscis. We found a family of proboscis monkeys, as I told you, and you can see it's quite an attraction. We have a few onlookers, but there's probably about half a dozen up in the trees, and they've been eating, swinging through the trees. There's a big male, a lot of little females. It's pretty cool.
I was quite amazed at the aerial acrobatics, but I had to wonder, can monkeys sometimes miss their branch?
This is cool. We got another species of monkey now. We got the silver leaf monkey, which is different to the proboscis because they're more a grey, silvery kind of colour and they're a little bit smaller. But there's a whole family. There's some in this tree and there's a heap back there, so the trees are moving and are shaking today.
Proboscis monkeys, or Mr. Longnose, is endemic to Borneo. It is thought that the bigger the nose, the bigger the attraction by females, and some of these noses can reach up to 7 inches. Wow, that's a big schnoz. The Clearest Wetlands was just our first encounter of the proboscis monkey. But Borneo has many wonderful habitats, so full of amazing critters of all shapes and sizes. Brunei was the second nation we would visit on our trip down the coast. I had heard a lot about Brunei and its riches, but I was about to see firsthand the wealth and golden architecture that lies within.
Wow, take a look at this. This is in fact the Sultan of Brunei's personal mosque. And have a look at it. It's just gold from the gate you walk in to the mosque itself. And as you can hear, they're praying in the background. It's the month of festivity. And I wish I had somewhere like this to come and pray.
Ancient manuscripts from China, India and Java show the western coast of Borneo as a major trading route for sought-after items like gold, exotic timbers and animal products.
Rotan.
Rotan?
Yes.
Yeah?
Rotan.
Rotan. Rotan.
Yeah, rotan.
Rotan. Rotan.
Rotan.
During the Golden Age, from the 15th century to the 17th century, the Sultan of Brunei ruled a large part of northern Borneo. In 1703, the Sultanate of Sulu received a large portion of North Borneo from the Sultan of Brunei. But today, Brunei makes up only 1% of the entire island. Even though Brunei has shrunk in land size, vast oil reserves offshore have made the Sultan of Brunei one of the richest men in the world. In some ways, crude oil has helped save Brunei's rainforest from palm oil plantations, one of Borneo's largest threats. But development is fast cutting into the rainforest. These forests are the proboscis monkey's habitat, but they are now also people's backyards. People need to understand that nature deserves its place. In order to truly see the wildlife in its domain, these days you need to travel to more remote areas, to more intact ecosystems. National parks are crucial for the survival of species, and more land needs to be preserved to protect our wildlife.
Wow, this looks impressive.
Gazetted in 1957, Barco is Sarawak's oldest and one of its smallest national parks, covering an area of 2,727 hectares. Despite its small size, Barco is one of the most diverse. as it contains 25 distinct types of vegetation from 7 complete ecosystems. Almost every type of vegetation found in Borneo.
This is a fascinating pitcher plant. You can see he's got a little hat on top, but then he's got this chamber, and inside this chamber there's nectar that encourages insects and mosquitoes and stuff like that to crawl inside. Then once the insects are inside, there's tiny little hairs in there, and they also get digested, so it's his lunch. See how super spongy this is? But also if I pick it up, you can see that this is in fact layer upon layer of dead forest. This is vegetation that's fallen to the forest floor. Now, not only is this superfood for forests so that they become so biodiverse and lush, it is also what they call peat forest. It is a carbon store. And what is happening here in Borneo are these peat forests are starting to be cleared and burnt. Once it starts burning, sometimes it doesn't stop, and it goes so deep that you have fires that just burn and burn and burn underground. Now, with all the carbon going up into this atmosphere, it is crucial that these peat forests are protected globally. I'm on the boardwalk where the mangroves are. Now, if you come at the right time of day, you can get lucky and you can find monkeys. And we have a little monkey in the tree. It's either a macaque or a silver leaf. So let's get a bit closer. See if we can see it. There he is. Look, he's looking at us.
I got closer and realised it was a silvery lutung, or a silver-leafed monkey.
Sometimes tides and temperatures also depict animal behaviour. And along the coastline of Borneo, in the late afternoon, when the tide goes out, you can often see animals moving around the beaches that have more mud flats. That's because macaques, one of the species of monkeys that you can find here, they love feeding on the little crabs. But also in the late afternoon, a lot of monkeys will come down and swing through the trees in the cooler temperature. During the heat of the day, they just like to chill out, relax and stay in the shade. But of course, as the sun sets, the action heats up. We were just walking along the boardwalk and this guy came right to us. He's so cute. I think he's looking at something that moves. I don't know what it is, but we can sneak past. So tell me, what is so important about Borneo? Because it's the world's 3rd largest island. How significant is it to our planet?
Oh, look, incredibly significant. You're talking about the heart of biodiversity. It's argued whether Bornean rainforests or Brazilian rainforests are more biodiverse. And the problem is we never know, and we're never going to know that purely because of the number of insects in there, and no one's able to count them. And I guess the plight's the same in both areas, and we're talking about the lungs of our planet here, We're talking about deforestation rates of 570 square metres a second, and that's very hard to fathom, and we're just stripping the lungs out of the planet.
But they're also massive carbon stores in themselves.
Absolutely.
So they have 2 roles, don't they? Storing carbon and then taking carbon dioxide and giving us back oxygen. So what damage are we doing taking down these forests?
Oh, immense damage. It's said that deforestation represents 25% of global greenhouse gas emissions. So the cheapest and easiest way for us to slow that process is to stop deforestation.
After exploring a lot of Malaysian Borneo, it was time for us to head into the territory of Indonesia and get another stamp in the passport. we headed to some of Indonesia's offshore islands away from the mainland to take in a little ocean air and explore jungle-covered tropical islands.
Welcome to paradise. This is the best part of my job. You get dropped on these gorgeous beaches and just take a look at some of the spectacular geographic designs that nature gives us. There's some rocks over there that I just have to climb, and the water here, crystal clear. It doesn't get better than this.
Warm tropical waters. Can't beat it. I always feel at home in the water and can spend hours snorkeling on reefs, just watching all the different species living together in a coral wonderland.
I always love being dropped on these pristine and deserted islands. I always wonder how the islands got here. Now, this beautiful white sand is, of course, coral sand. And those rocks that look like they've been dropped from the sky, they are granite, volcanic rocks. So, Mick, these are beautiful islands that we're here in Indonesia. But how did so many islands form?
It's an interesting one. I think Indonesia, there's over 17,000 islands to choose from. So there's still so many jewels left. And this is just one small example of that. Most of us in Indonesia sort of associate the areas with volcanics. So, all these lovely big stratovolcanoes, basalt. Whereas here in the South China Sea, it's actually part of the old mainland. So, 17,000 years ago, when sea level was around about 125 metres lower than what it is today, this was connected to the Asian mainland. So this is where we see a lot of the similar flora and fauna as we do on the peninsula of Malaysia and those regions. And it's not until you get to the other side of the island of Borneo where that permanent water line always was, the Wallace Line, which separates out the Asiatic and the Australasian fauna.
As we headed back toward the island of Borneo, our last adventure would be the best. Joining Orion was a very special guest, Dr. Birute Galdikas. Birute has studied under Professor Leakey alongside the likes of Jane Goodall and Dianne Fossey. These three ladies would become world-renowned for their research work with primates and within the ecology field. Their passions helping protect vital ecosystems around the world. While Jane Goodall primarily focused on chimpanzees, the late Dianne Fossey was famous for her work with gorillas. Dr. Galdikas has spent 40 years among orangutans in the forests of Kalimantan and has set up a research centre called CampLeaky.
Well, we've arrived at Kalimantan and we're on the Kumai River and we're just putting the boats in the water, we're getting ready to leave, and this is the highlight of the trip. This is when we get to go to CampLeaky. Tops, which we'll be jumping on later, just ahead of us. These are cool little boats that we get to cruise up the rest of the river. But it's a pretty long trip. We've got a few hours in the boats before we get there, but it will be well worth the wait time. Absolutely sure.
Tanjung Puting National Park is composed of 415,040 hectares of prime old-growth forest.
We've got a little homestay that's popped up along the river, and this is what tourism can do. It can offer an economy to the local people in places where they might not traditionally have an economy other than palm oil. But these guys have a sign saying, stop destroying our land. So they really want to protect the forest, because to them, the forest not only means money, but it is their home. And there's even a souvenir shop, and it says, buy original handcrafts from here, and it helps the villagers with an alternate income. So that's really cool to see, because not everybody benefits from cutting down the forest. It's usually big corporations, people that can come in, control land, but sometimes the little guys, in fact, suffer.
Four research centres have been established within the park for study and rehabilitation of orangutans. Our first feeding and research station will be Pondok Tanggui.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning. Very well, thank you. Hello, buddy. He's a pretty big male. You can see that his facial structure, that's what turns women on, the big cheek pads. So he's probably, hard to tell, probably about 20 years, 25 years old. Definitely a full-grown male. So we're off to the feeding station, and we'll just say goodbye to our beautiful friend over here. Look at him waving us in. Hello, darling. Oh, maybe I'm not supposed to talk to him. So you've got to have rules and etiquette with orangutans. They are wild animals. So we're heading into the feeding station. We're a little bit late. These guys get fed at about 9 o'clock each morning, so they're pretty used to their schedules. It's just like us. If we're used to a 9 o'clock brekkie, we don't want to be late. Come on, buddy, you go first. You go first. Cool. We're actually getting walked up to the station by an orangutan. The big, beautiful male that we have. Amazing. I don't know whether to pass him, because you've still got to remember they are wild animals. I doubt he'll hurt us, but I don't want to scare him, really. I don't want him to feel frightened by me, even though I'm just a little squirt. So we're here at the feeding platform, and as you can hear, they're calling in the orangutans. We have a male feeding on the platform, and we have a mother with a little baby just about to join him, I think. So we're just all waiting. Come on the platform. It's always interesting to see how other orangutans will behave when another one comes into the picture. But it's pretty much a big family group, a lot of these forests. They all hang together. As long as it's not another male, It's probably okay. You really notice the difference walking through jungles that are full of life and full of biodiversity. You can hear all the insects, you can hear calls of birds, and of course, if you're really super lucky, you see the trees rustling and the monkeys come, or the orangutans. There's so many different species. So what is this plant that we got here, Chris?
So this is a traditional medicine. We need this leaf or this root, but this is just for the woman. For example, after I get a baby,
Yeah.
you can drink water. Mixing with hot water this leaf, and you can put a little bit honey, and then you can drink when you are bleeding, and then. For stop bleeding. We call it tapak nabi. We use this leaf also for calling the animal.
Okay.
When we calling animal in the jungle, and then we make a noise from this leaf.
Let's hear it.
And a baby mouse deer coming, my grandpa hunting with blowpipe.
Ah, you did blowpipe, poison bow,
Exactly.
dart.
Just to make a noise first. So if you got malaria, you can take this leaf, mixing with hot water, and then put a little bit honey. In local language, we called pasak bumi, but in English, it means like a quinine, right?
Quinine.
Quinine. Very bitter. If you don't believe me, you can trust. You can try. Eat like a chewing gums.
I won't like it, right? It's pretty bitter.
Bitter.
But hey, if I was sick and this healed me, I'll definitely eat it.
Like the chewing gum. Yeah.
Put a bit of sugar on it.
And this is also good for, for men, for strong men.
Hey,
Like me. So if you do get the privilege of trekking through these Borneo forests, you might come across this, which is the liana vine. Now, this could be your saviour because it in fact stores water. If you cut about 1 metre of this, you can get a nice drink. And if we move over there, this little guy here is in fact Borneo Viagra. This is our little baby potok over here, and they look pretty cool, don't they? Jump on board. Our own dining table. How cool is this? With the best view in the house.
Tanjung Puting Park was set aside by the Dutch colonial government in the 1930s for the protection of orangutans and proboscis monkeys, and was designated as a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve in 1977. Finally, it became a national park in 1982.
You guys have a friend.
this is the essence of Borneo. You know, you can almost spend time on a klotok like this, drifting down the river, and imagine what the country was like, 50 years ago. The whole island was covered in rainforest like this, and I think that's what makes this area so special.
This isn't the sort of thing I do every day back home. Like, we're on a traditional boat and we have this incredible forest. But when Dr. Galdikas first came, there was nothing here, right?
That's correct. There was absolutely nothing. So that was the great advantage of it, because she could study the primates in their natural habitat, and that's why they chose this area. The whole island was just covered in this type of forest, and this lowland rainforest and the peat swamp forests we travel through here in Tanjung Puting are the most decimated. We're talking about 80% of lowlands have now gone on the island of Borneo.
So what can we do about it? Like, how much more is going? Is it going to stop?
Is it going to stop? I think the only hope it's got is by putting value on trees that remain upright rather than felling them, you know. And I think once we can do that and have green areas and have money available to purchase green areas and continually doing that, then there's a chance. But at the moment, you know, the world's rapidly shrinking due to the population.
Perfect time on the river. It's not too hot. There should be a lot of wildlife, like that little monkey right there, right?
Absolutely. So long-tailed macaques, things like that. We certainly see proboscis monkeys, the odd occasional gibbon, and you know, some wild orangutans, which I always think's nice because you can always see them in care centres, and you can always see them at rehabilitation centres. But to actually see true wild orangutans is quite a unique experience, and I think that's what the key to this area is.
So we've come a little bit further up the river and now it's turned into a nice black colour. It's a lot cleaner here. This is pure rainforest. It's pristine country and you can really see the difference. We've already seen a couple of orangutans as we've been cruising up and a couple of different species of birds, but we must be getting pretty close to CampLeaky now. This black water is actually very deep and they even saw a saltwater crocodile, but we missed it. He'd gone down. Eyes peeled. Always be on the lookout. You never know what you can find. So we've only just got off the Clotox and look what is waiting for us. Now this is CampLeaky, but look who's in our way. I can't get past because there's a mummy and a little bubby orangutan. Hello! How cool!
CampLeaky was the original research centre founded in 1971 with assistance from the Leakey Foundation. And it was here where Dr. Birute Galdikas began her career, studying the behaviour of rescued and orphaned orangutans.
Oh, look at this. She's letting us take her to meet the doctor.
I'm not sure who's walking who.
She is heavy. But she's pretty excited because Dr. Galdikas is actually on her way, isn't she?
She is on her way. But it's pretty unique. Walking down a boardwalk with an orangutan.
I must admit, is that someone that's jealous?
Our gibbon.
Oh my God! Our friendly gibbon. He is just hanging out. Like, they get jealous because you spend time with them, do they? But it just goes to show how incredible these animals are, doesn't it, Vic?
It does.
Oh, gotta have a
I think
rest.
she's got tired.
It is pretty hectic walking.
Her research went worldwide, making the cover of National Geographic in 1975. Today, she is considered one of the world's leading experts on orangutan behaviour.
Look at that. Lovely and juicy. Do you like mangoes? So is this where you used to live, this house?
I still live here.
You still live here?
Yeah. Some of the most special moments have been just on my porch here. With Cicely here, with Tom here. Tom's a bellman, adult male. And he'll sit on my porch too, but since we've had a few incidents with him, I mean, he's never done anything to us, but he explodes. So you just have to be careful because if he explodes and you're just sitting there, you could get badly hurt inadvertently. And Cicely is pretty mellow, except when you try to, except she's very jealous. So I can't give food to other orangutan females. She will attack the other female.
Really?
Yeah. And it comes and goes, but sometimes it's really bad.
So what made you come to this point all those years ago when you came down the river?
Oh, I wanted to study orangutans.
Check, and he's just right there ready.
Fred, her son, grew up with these orangutans. And while my son was being held by Siswi, Birute's longtime orangutan friend, the doctor said to me, Bo reminded her of Fred when he was young.
She likes you, Bowie.
More recently, Birute's work is centred around keeping orangutans alive and working with landowners to protect habitat. Today, wild orangutans are facing an unsure future as a result of poaching and habitat destruction. Viable orangutan populations are on the edge of extinction and could be gone within the next 10 years. Dr. Galdikas is the president of Orangutan Foundation International, and having studied orangutans longer than any other person in human history, her plight is now to try and establish true conservation initiatives and working with local tribes to stop the land being sold for palm oil plantations. Without habitat, these wonderful primates and all the amazing species like our friendly gibbon in Tanjung Puting National Park could simply disappear.
Oh, you just got to look at their cute little faces and their beautiful big eyes. And every time they look at you, you know they're thinking. There's so much going on in their brain. They're constantly processing what's going on. They're constantly watching what we're doing. And you've constantly got to watch where they're going to because they probably get annoyed of us all hanging around. But like I said, this CampLeaky is an amazing experience. Now where do you go?
They're a stunning group of
You want to go through there? Do you want to go through? Look, there's your trees.
You can make a no.
Which way does he want to go?
looking because we've got more.
This is better than any zoo you could possibly visit. Like being able to come here and see these animals, but letting them be able to do what they do naturally in the wild is exactly the way it should be. We should realise the importance of these animals, we should realise the importance of their habitat, and we should protect that habitat at all costs. There's orangutans everywhere. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because there's even the tiny little baby hanging on to mum. They're absolutely going off. So it's quite funny because Dr. Galdikas just turned up, and as soon as she turned up, the orangutans just all headed here. Maybe she does have that magic touch with these guys. So cool.
We're looking at the feeding, and we got a couple of them here. So we have Gary as the male, the young male, and then you got, I think it's Tut and Gara as the females.
So how many orangutans have you got here?
Well, roughly we've released over 100 here.
Right.
So far, they come around maybe over 30. They're in and out of the forest, so you never really know which one's going to come out of the forest.
And are these all rescued orangutans, the ones here, or are some of them the natural orangutans?
They're rehabilitated, but then they have also their offspring, which are wild-born. So for a combination, which is great.
And your mum set up this whole place?
The whole place, yeah. In cooperation with the Indonesian government, of course.
And you got to grow up here?
I get to grow up here, yeah.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? We lost these guys out of the wild. How devastating would that be?
I think it would be devastating. It would be a travesty, actually, because this is the only three places in the world where you can actually see them, which is in Indonesian Borneo, and then Malaysian Borneo, and then Sumatra, which is another island in Indonesia. So if we lose this place, this area here, the national park here, has the world's largest orangutan population.
So Tanjung Puting.
Tanjung Puting National Park, exactly.
Oh, what have we got going on here? Bit of action.
Yeah.
That's classic. So this happens every day
Every
here?
day, yeah. And I think they're very interested in the visitors as well. So
yeah.
They're just wondering, who are these weird creatures coming to our house and home?
Well, it's just amazing to get this close to primates, and what a privilege, and being able to spend time with them and get a close-up look. They're just like us. You can see the little baby just wanting to have fun, and mum and dad just hanging out in the forest. It's an absolute shame if we let our forest get cut down and these guys lose their home, because you can just see how fantastic orangutans are. And I take my hat off to people like Dr. Galdikas, Birute, who have spent the time and the effort to keep these guys safe. And just remember, take your rubbish with you and take your belongings. Otherwise, you find these guys wearing them. Oh, cool.